Hello, welcome students. You are watching our physics on chapter 2, namely physical quantity and measurement. Okay. So today our topic is displacement and flotation. So you must keep in mind that the R, the relative density of a liquid and a solid, the only thing that determines whether an object floats or sinks in water. So you must keep in mind that if any substance is immersed in water, then you must keep in mind that whether an object has relative density is less than 1 or greater than 1 or equal to 1. Okay, if there is greater than 1, then you must keep in mind that it will sink in liquid. Okay, I means water. But when it is less than 1, then it will remain float in the water. Okay, but when it is equal, then we can say that the object just float at the surface of the liquid. Okay, so now here both object, you must be know that if why does a steel ball sink in water whereas a ball made of steel float? So both objects are made up of the same substance, so their relative density will be also the same. Okay, so the difference is that by using the principle of displacement. So when an object sinks in water, so there are two types of forces that act on it. One is the upward force and another one is downward force. Okay, so downward force means the weight of the object pushes the object into the liquid. That means it displaces the part of the liquid. Whereas the buoyant force, it pushes the object upward. Okay, so the buoyant force or the upthrust force acting on an object is equal to the weight of the liquid or gas that is displaced by the object. So this is known as Archimedes principle. So here you must be know that when the weight of the object is more than the buoyant force, then what will happen? Then the resultant force will push the object in the downward direction. In this case, the object sinks in water. So this means that the density of the object is more than the density of the liquid. Okay. So second point is that when the weight of the object is equal to the buoyant force, then the resultant force will be zero. In this case, the object float at the surface of the liquid that I have already told you earlier. Okay, so this happens when the density of the object is equal to the density of liquid. So third point is when the weight of the object is less than the buoyant force, then the resultant force is that the object, it pushes the object in upward direction. In this case, the object floats with a part of the object above the surface of the liquid, and some part of the object will remain inside the liquid. So this happens when the density of an object is less than the density of liquid. Okay. So now it is very clear that when the density of an object is more than the density of the liquid, then such object will sink in the liquid. Okay, or vice versa. So now let us go back to the example of the steel balls and steel bowl. In case of the steel bowl, because of its shape, the effective volume is much greater than as compared to the steel ball. So this means that its effective density. So then how will you find out the density? By dividing the mass by volume. So effective density is much lower than that of steel ball. So for a ball of large enough volume, the density is lower than that of water. And you must keep in mind the volume is always inversely proportional to the density. If the volume is more, then the density will less. If the volume is less, then the density will be more. Okay. So now next is some application of the flotation and sinking. So you must be know that floating iceberg in the sea. Ice is less density as compared to the still sea water. So this is because of the phenomena of the anomalous expansion of water. The mass of a piece of ice is less than the mass of an equivalent volume of water. So therefore we can say that iceberg float in sea water. Okay, and you must be know that about the 1/9 part of the iceberg is visible above the surface of water, whereas 9 upon 10, I mean 9 part out of 10 part of the iceberg is under the surface of the water. So this means that the this means that I mean so it is the density of an ice is approximately near about 0.9. So therefore we can say that 90% of the iceberg displaces the volume of water that is equal to the mass of the whole iceberg. Okay. So next is the floating ship. You have to see earlier that a steel ball sinks, whereas a steel bowl floats on water. So this is the principle that is used to build ships. So you know ships are hollow and built so that the mass of the water that displays is more as compared to the mass of the ship itself. So thus the buoyant force acting upward on the ship is more as compared to the weight of the ship. So this causes the ship to float on water. And next is the submarine. So submarines are the hollow watertight vehicle. So they are built in such a way that they displace more water than their mass. So this makes them float on water. So you know very well that they can also be sink in the water. Okay. So this can be done by using the tank on the submarine that can be filled with water. So when the submarine has to sink, the water is taken into the tank with the help of piston. Okay. So this makes the submarine heavier and increases average density. So this results in the submarine sinking below the surface of water. So if the submarine now have to rise up to the surface, then again the water is pumped out. So this makes the submarine lighter and thereby the density decreases. So this as a result the submarine rises up to the surface of water. Next is the swim bladder of a fish. So you know very well that the fishes have the swim bladder. So these are the air-filled organs within the body of the fishes. So the swim bladder of these fishes act like the tank on submarine. The amount of air or water in the swim bladder decides whether a fish sinks in the water or maybe rises up. Okay. So helium balloon. Helium is less density as compared to the air. So therefore, a balloon filled with helium is lighter than an equal volume of air. This causes the volume to rise up when it is left free. Okay. So this chapter is completed. In the next class, I will given you some questions based on the multiple choice questions. So you have to do it. Okay. So I hope we will meet you in the next class. Okay. Bye bye.